All righty. Hold on here. Modules. Let me show you where to find this in case you want to look at it. It's at the very bottom of the Canvas page, and it's comms 4 it's lecture 4, preparing for the persuasive speech assignment. All right. Let me put my book away here for now. Okay. So let us start with the general requirements. The length of the persuasive speech is the same length as the informative speech, 8 minutes in length. And it's going to seem weird, but the minimum amount of sources you need for the persuasive speech is 5. But I'm going to tell you right now that you can't really fill 8 minutes with only 5 sources. So you do expect to use more than 5. But if you have at least 5, you're fine. You don't lose any points. With that, you're going to do a regular speech outline like you always have, which will be the persuasive speech outline. And this, again, will have the at least 5 sources in it. But here's where we go somewhere else. Also, in that outline packet, you're going to have to do a second full outline, and it's called the dosoi logoi. And that is a Greek term that means opposite argument. That is a full outline, a second full outline that you're going to write. It's going to have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion with at least 3 sources. And you are not going to be performing the dosoi logoi speech as a speech in class. It's just a full outline that's a speech, okay? You're going to have a works cited that's combined for this last outline packet, and it will have all the sources from both of the outlines listed in alphabetical order by the author's last name. And so I want all of this uploaded as one document. So first it'll be the persuasive speech outline. The next page in that document will begin the dosoi logoi full outline. And then after that's over, the next page in that document will be the combined works cited page. When you are done with your persuasive speech, you're going to need to write the self-evaluation number 2 paper. And it's exactly the same as the self-evaluation number 1 paper. But hopefully at this point, you will see a big improvement in your speaking over the first speech of the semester. That's the hope. So let me tell you that the outline format for persuasive is exactly the same as how to an informative, but the 3 main points, A, B, C, under Roman numeral 2 body, are different than in the other 2. And I'm going to explain to you how to put this all together. So you're going to be choosing a topic for persuasive. It has to be controversial. And it doesn't have to be like a headline in the news, but it has to be some issue that's talked about on the media in general. The thing is, it has to be controversial. And what controversial is when you have 2 separate groups that believe the opposite fighting against each other. So, for example, don't drink and drive is not a controversial topic because there's not a group of people out there fighting for the right to drink and drive, because society overall has agreed that drinking and driving is dangerous and deadly, and there are no people out there fighting for their right to drink and drive. Therefore, it's not controversial. The quintessential controversial topic, and there are hundreds of them, especially in today's age. The one I'm going to use as an example in this is abortion. To me, that is the quintessential controversial topic. You got one half of the country saying we must keep the right of a woman to choose what she wants with her body. You have the other side of the country saying you are killing little babies when you do abortion. And these 2 sides, they don't get along. They don't agree. They want to change what the other side wants. That's a controversial topic. So What you're going to have to do for this assignment is, of the two sides of that controversial topic, you need to choose the one that you actually believe in. And that's the side you're going to be performing the speech on. The Desoi Logoi second outline will be covering the side of that controversial issue that you don't truly believe in. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be coming up with a total of 6 main points for this assignment. 3 main points for the persuasive speech outline, the side you do honestly believe in. And then 3 main points for the second outline, which is the Desoi Logoi outline. I'm going to get way deeper in this right now. So I'm telling you to choose the side of the topic you actually believe in, because if you don't do that, then I'm going to give you an F. And why do I say this? Because I had a student many years ago who decided to use this assignment as a big joke. And he chose the opposite side than he believed in and made fun of that as his speech. And I told him off, and I'm never allowing anyone to do that again, because this assignment is no joke. It is serious. So all I'm asking you to do is just be honest with yourself and with us and present the side of the issue that you truly do believe in. I don't think it's that huge of a thing to ask of you. So getting more positive now, you will have a total of 6 main points divided between the 2 outlines. You're going to have to research all 6 of these main points to give a source to each one, at least one source to each one. So here's an exercise I'm going to teach you to get to the 6 main points. And what I'm about to teach you, I don't see it. You don't hand it in to me. I will never see it. You're doing this on a piece of scratch paper. This is a process that's for you to figure out your 6 main points. And it's basically a type of brainstorming exercise for you to get to this point. So what you're going to do is you either take a piece of scratch paper, or most of you probably would prefer to type this out on a screen instead of using a piece of paper, I'm sure. But it doesn't matter, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be, first of all, you need to word your topic as a proposition. So you can't just say abortion good, abortion bad. That's not going to cut it as a topic. Look at these examples for propositions. Abortion should be illegal. And this implies action, because it's saying that the laws should change so that abortion will be illegal. And then the opposite side of that is abortion should remain illegal, because it is legal right now. So the action implied in here is to prevent the other side from taking away the laws that exist today and taking away their right to getting abortion. So I hope that's very clear. So what you're going to do is, once you get it worded in the proper way, whatever the topic is, you're going to write one of them on one side of the paper and then the other one on the other side of the paper. So they're pretty much 2 columns, one on each side of your paper. So underneath each of these, let me show you. Okay. Under each of these, you're going to write why, and then why under the other one. And then right under the word why, you write because. And you write the word because under the why on both sides. And then under the because, you're just going to write capital letters A, B, C straight down, just like I did here, on both sides. Let me show you why. Let's start with the one side. Let's say this is the side I believe in. This is the side I'm going to give the speech on. So here's your proposition. Abortion should remain legal. Why? Why should abortion remain legal? Because, and then you start brainstorming arguments that back up why abortion should remain legal. So my first one, which would become your main point 1, which is A, Why should it remain legal? Because women have a right to choose what they want to do with their body. Now let's go for another one. Abortion should remain legal. Why should abortion remain legal? Because sometimes pregnancy risks the mother's health or life if the mother has certain medical conditions. It can kill a woman. If a woman has a certain kind of medical condition and she gets pregnant and she carries the baby to term, it could very well kill her or do some horrible damage to her health. Okay, one more. Why should abortion remain legal? Because when a woman is raped, or even worse, raped by a relative, the idea of forcing her to carry a baby that's the result of that violent trauma is very cruel. So I want you to notice, first of all, there are hundreds of arguments under this. Those are the three I chose. Another thing I want you to notice, these three arguments have nothing to do with each other. They're not dependent on one another. They're totally separate and unique arguments. And that's what you need. You're going to need three totally different and unique arguments that all back up why abortion should remain legal. Let's say you decided these were the ones you were going to use, then you're going to have to start getting sources to back up each of these. So you're going to have to look up sources where an expert is saying that a woman has a right to choose what to do with her body, why and how. Okay. And because you need for this one at least 5 sources, I tell you that 5 is not going to fill up 8 minutes. So what you should do is plan to have at least 2 sources for each one of these arguments. So for the second one, you would probably want to get an article that explains which medical conditions exist where a woman could possibly die if she carries a baby to term, and let us know those medical conditions. Also, you could look up statistics that show how many women with these medical conditions have actually gotten really ill or died when they carried a child to term, because that stuff will back up this argument. And then lastly, you're going to have to find some sources that talk about what a woman goes through with rape and incest and what it actually could do to a woman's mind to force her to carry a baby to term as a result of a very violent, horrible thing that's happened to her. Okay, let's turn now to the dosoi logoi. Let me show you how to do that. One thing, the dosoi logoi's 3 main points have absolutely no connection to these 3. You don't refute these 3 main points. You're going to pretend, for the sake of brainstorming, that you do believe in the opposite argument, just to get the 3 main points. So let's go. Abortion should remain illegal, or should be illegal. Why should abortion be illegal? Now, I'm going to pretend that I do believe that. Now, I'm not going to tell you in real life what I believe and what I don't believe. That's irrelevant to you. But for the purpose of this example, abortion should be illegal. Why? Because the fetus is a human being. And so aborting it is murdering a human being. That's one argument. Abortion should be illegal. Why? Because it is forbidden in most religions. And abortion should be illegal. Why? Because there are so few infants that are available for adoption in the United States, because all of them are getting aborted, that people who want babies need to go to other countries to adopt an infant there. Usually it's China, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand. These are the main countries that people go to adopt babies in. And they wouldn't go through all that expense if there were plenty of infants here for them to adopt. Okay, so now your dosoi logoi has a minimum requirement of 3 sources. So what you need to do is get at least 1 source for each of these 3 arguments. And I want to back up and say there are hundreds of these arguments, not just 3. These are just the 3 that I chose that I thought were really strong arguments. Now, I theoretically don't believe in this proposition, but I pretend I do for the sake of getting 3 legitimate arguments that back that up. Okay. So here I would have to get a source of research that talks about the fetus and how it is a human being in the womb. Okay. Then you need a source that talks about how the world religions forbid abortion and have an expert source on that. And then you need at least one source talking about probably some statistics of how many people adopt babies in the United States and how many people in the United States go and adopt babies in other countries. And we're talking infants, not toddlers or 7, 8-year-olds. We're talking infant babies, okay? Because that's the rarity, not the older kids. There's no shortage of the older kids. It's the tiny infants that everybody wants. So you could find statistics. Also, another source would be cool, would also be maybe find a source that talks about how much it actually costs to go to another country to adopt a baby, because it's very, very, very expensive to do that. I've got you over time already. So let me quickly finish this up. This was just an exercise for you to get to your 6 main points. I will never see that scratch paper. That's for you. That's me telling you how to do this. Use those as your main points in the bodies of your outlines. Same format that we're using all along. The format of the outline is not changing, just the content of the ABC under body. You're going to be researching all 6 main points. Please don't forget to highlight all of your short sites in your outline in yellow so I can easily count them. Great sources would be statistics, case studies, but make them short, like 3 lines max. Any kind of laws or bills, any survey results or poll data, journal articles, studies, newspapers, all great kinds of sources. Your visual aids, in this case, should be charts and data that helps you back up these arguments to us. And so make sure that the visual aids are very easy for us to see and read, and that you walk us through the data that's on those visual aids at the appropriate part of the speech. And please upload your outline packet that's with 250 points, Chelsea, in this order. 1 file. First, the full persuasive speech outline. The following page of that same document, the Desoy Logoi full outline. And the page after that is going to be the combined works cited with the at least 8+ sources, all listed in the MLA format in alphabetical order according to the author's last name. So the bottom line is the goal with this speech is to persuade the audience to change or modify their attitudes or behavior about a controversial fact, value, or policy. Use your ethos, your credibility, your pathos, your passion for this topic, and your emotional appeals, and your logos, your logic, your intellect, the quality of your arguments, the quality of the research that backs them up. Use all of that. And I am not going to allow any makeups for the persuasive speech. You must be ready on your scheduled speech day, because we don't have time after up to finals week. We're scheduled all the way to finals week. I don't have extra days to allow people to make up speeches for the last speech. So there will be no makeups. You must be ready on your scheduled speech date. Upload your outline packet by your assigned speech date by midnight that night. And this is almost worth half of your grade, so good luck. So any questions on this? I know it's a hell of a lot of information to dump on you like this, but aren't you glad you're getting it weeks early rather than right before it's due, right? Yeah. That way you'll have some time to think about it and really work this out. So any questions before I let you go, since I've already kept you late?